right, well, meantime, authorities say Jose Mendoza-Gonzalez, this man, a migrant who attempted to self-deport from Illinois back to Mexico, will be tried in a Chicago suburb on charges of concealing the death of a 37-year-old woman. The case drawing attention earlier this year after police in the suburb of Waukegan found the remains of that woman inside a container in his backyard. NewsNation's Mills Hayes is live here in Illinois with the very latest. So, Mills, authorities say he was attempting to self-deport.
That's right, Nichole. Jose Mendoza-Gonzalez was trying to self-deport, had requested it multiple times. He's now being held in this Lake County jail behind us until he faces trial. He was even ordered just last week to be deported. This all happening after he was picked up by ICE over the summer. Mendoza-Gonzalez was charged with concealment of a death, abuse of a corpse, and obstructing justice after 37-year-old mother of two, Megan Bos, was found decomposing in a trash can in his backyard back in April. But before he was picked up by ICE, he was allowed to walk free for months. The charges weren't harsh enough to meet the pretrial detainment conditions under Illinois Safety Act. Boss's mother tells me this just isn't right.
I couldn't believe that they could let somebody who kept a body in his yard in a container and destroyed all of the evidence, and they would just let him go back home the next day, less than 24 hours. I was floored.
Jennifer Bos got the attention of a powerful ally, President Trump, and just 3 days later, Mendoza-Gonzalez was in custody again, this time by ICE. Lake County authorities charged Mendoza-Gonzalez earlier this month with an additional charge, concealment of a homicidal death, which is a detainable offense. Megan Bos had been missing for weeks at the time that her body was discovered. The investigation is ongoing, but it is believed she may have died of a fentanyl overdose. And Jose Mendoza-Gonzalez will be held in custody until he faces trial on January 26th. Nichole?
All right, so Mills, what are those in support of the Safety Act saying?
Well, the Illinois Safety Act, supporters say that it's supposed to make our judicial system more fair. Illinois lawmakers eliminating cash bail as well, with the idea that it negatively affects poor people who don't pose a public safety risk.
It was misguided from the beginning to be premising people's pretrial freedom on how much money they happen to be able to come up with. It's a much better system to make those decisions based on the judge's determination of actual risk to public safety, or the actual risk that somebody will willfully fail to appear in court.
Under the new law, judges can still order potentially dangerous people held before trial. But the Illinois Network for Pretrial Justice tells me that Mendoza-Gonzalez wouldn't necessarily have been detained for the original charges even before the Safety Act was passed. Jennifer Bos acknowledged that the Safety Act does have some positives, but told me she thinks it needs to be reevaluated, especially after, in her view, it almost allowed Mendoza-Gonzalez to leave the country without facing trial. Almost is the key word here. He is now being held right here behind us until he faces those charges in January, Nichole.
All right, Mills Hayes, live for us. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.